The charge against you, Mr. Sarma, is that you have changed that whole Assamese versus Bengali into Hindu versus Muslim, which never used to happen.
Not like that. First of all, immigrant people has posed a threat to Assam culture and identity. Earlier, we are not very vocal because we did not realize the threat. But once the communal politics was started by the other side, obviously people of Assam has responded. So from 2006, when United Democratic Front under the leadership of Badruddin Ajmal emerged in Assam political scenario, from that point of time, polity has fragmented, and you can see that if immigrant Muslim has tried to assert their identity, equally our indigenous people, Hindu people, indigenous Muslim people, indigenous Christian people, everybody has said that no, we have also has the right to counter the communal politics. So it is nothing to do with me. It has started in 2006. Probably you can accusing me that I am trying to assert Assamese identity, assert Hindu, Christian or indigenous identity more vocally.
But is it about your indigenous identity when you bring up the issue of Jinnah? What does Jinnah versus and a Hindu identity have to do with Assam?
In Assam,
you say ki we are giving medical colleges, these people are building madrasas. Then you are also insulting the Assamese Muslim.
Yeah.
When you say that they make mullahs, we make MBBS.
So,
then you are also talking about the Assamese Muslim.
So basically some people in Assam, through the madrasa education, they want to make mullah. I said that I want to establish a medical college and I want to make you doctor. Now, where is the problem in that line? Do you want mullah?
The problem is that they have the freedom to practice their religion. As long as they are doing it legally. Madrasas are not illegal.
But I am giving you a better option. You become doctor.
But it is not illegal.
So if
they want to study in a madrasa, they can. As long as it's legal.
You think about my children. As a father, I want my children to be a doctor. So if I go to a Muslim population and say that I want to make you doctor, I want to establish a medical college, I think they should feel happy with that. What is wrong in that?
Sure, that is a choice. As the government, you make a medical college and leave it to the people whether they want to go send somebody to a medical college or a madrasa.
This is part of my freedom of expression that look, I want you to be a doctor, I don't want you to be a mullah. Choice is theirs, of course.
The reason why I ask this is because it opens up fault lines. In a region which anyway has many ethnic divides or disagreements, let's call them, various tribes, can you really afford to have a communal divide?
Padmaja, look, these are the things which left propagated. Everyone should go boldly into a Muslim area and they must say, stop this madrasa and convert it to a general education school, make your life better. I mean, you must have guts to say that even if it creates fault line.
You're saying that madrasa should be banned?
I'll not say banned, but it should be closed down by the community themselves.
Then let me ask
I have no right to ban under the Constitution of India, but government madrasa I have banned. I have stopped giving finance to all the government madrasa. You need a new set of politicians who at the cost of losing votes goes to the Muslim population, say, look, if a Hindu girl can become a PhD scholar, if a Hindu girl can be a daughter, how can you force your daughter to be on certain limitation? How can you force your daughter to be son to be some kind of a madrasa educated student, not a doctor? Basically, these are their parents' choice. I have discussed with various students who studied in madrasa. I said, what do you want to be? They said that I want to be a doctor. Then I said, brother, bhai, you are studying here, this school will not lead to a doctor. He said, is it? Is it so? I can't be a doctor. So it is the parent or the circumstances which led them into madrasa. But you ask them, what is your aim in life? They will say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer. So you must be vocal at the cost of losing votes. And you must say that time is now over. Stop this kind of education and bring proper general education among the community. And most of the people who campaign for madrasa, they have not put their children in the madrasa.
You know, when you say that I can make this bold comment at the risk of losing votes, are you trying to project yourself as a Hindu face, you know, a Hindu Hriday Samrat as it were?
फायदा क्या है उससे?
फायदा ये है कि आपको कंसोलिडेशन मिलेगा हिंदू वोट का?
मिलेगा. I mean, first of all, that if I go to a Muslim area, say that I want to make your children a doctor, actually you might lose very rightist kind of Hindu votes. That is a more risk things, a more hard option I am exercising. Are you are trying to make Muslims doctor?
So you're saying that...
So if I am running the risks, I am running the risks of losing Hindu population. By oh look, madrasa hai rehne do na, why you are going there and taking care of them? But at the cost of losing Hindu votes, if at all, I have gone to Muslim area and I have said, shut down your madrasa, make it to a medical college or a general schools. And I did that with 600 schools so far.
Now let's move beyond that and go back again to your border dispute. Is Assam getting the reputation of playing big brother, even in the differences that we had in, with Mizoram? There the ministers felt, or the chief minister said, that you're talking down to us. You decide where we will put our post. You decide where our people will set up their shops. Arunachal also has a problem with you.
Padmaja, first of all, I'd not like to go back to that dispute. But the factual point is that Assam lost 6 of their policemen and we have not fired a shot in counter. If you lost 6 policemen on the spot, and still you are not firing back, that shows how much you respect your neighbors. And when it comes to an Indian state, when you come to your same family. So I think history, and if you go today also, there is a pain in the hearts of Assam police personnel that we have not been allowed to counter. But that is the factual situation, that Assam has exercised that kind of restraint. And I think we should continue to do that. And I have openly requested Government of India, come, show us the line, whatever line you have shown, we'll respect that. That is not a big issue. Let us have a discussion. And today we are discussing with Meghalaya. Hopefully soon we are resolving the conflict. And we are working on a particular set of guideline. And I firmly believe that these disputes will be matter of past soon.
Is it possible that there are certain elements who are deliberately working to create fissures between the different states?
There will be. But as a politician, our duty is to keep aside that, and we should bring durable peace in the region because we need to prosper. So I am sure that within our tenure, we'll see a complete culmination of the border dispute. We are taking step on that direction and we'll achieve it. I am confident about that.
Because even in the dispute that took place where the firing happened, there were some reports about some illegal settlers. How big a problem right now is illegal settlements in the northeast?
Look, yesterday also we have evicted few thousands of family from a reserve forest. We have reclaimed almost 3,000 hectares of land from a reserve forest. So encroachment of government land, illegal settlers, these are the real hard issue. But you have to make it a difference between case to case. So you cannot evict a huge lots of population from a particular land because they are illegal settlers, because you have to give them alternative. So we prioritize when it comes to reserve forest, when it comes to temple and Satra's land, we evict them from there. Otherwise, you have to accept certain things as a compulsion.
Because in the last episode, when the police firing happened in Darang, and everyone would remember those were horrific images where 3 people died in police firing, it eventually emerged that at least one of those 3 dead had a Aadhaar card also. And yet there were people who were being evicted from the land that they were occupying.
No, Padmaja, you should
Which
not...
is why the argument that because they were...
That left liberal are very good in diverting people's mind. Even a foreign citizen can have Aadhaar in India. So Aadhaar is not proof of citizenship. In Assam, citizenship proof will emerge from the National Register of Citizens, which are in the final stage at the direction of Supreme Court. But anybody can have a Aadhaar. There is no restriction. You just go to a Aadhaar Kendra and said, I want a Aadhaar. You are entitled for Aadhaar. Because the act itself says that Aadhaar is not actually means that you are a citizen of India.
But would the action have been of the kind that we saw when your eviction drives take place if the name of that man would have been Shekhar and not Saddam Hussein?
Issue is that government doesn't want to fire anyone because they are our citizen, or otherwise also even if they are not citizen, they are unarmed. But in certain point, certain situation emerge where you have to take some action, not with happily, but those are the situation, those are the action decided by the officer in the field. But on this incident, I have requested, and I was in discussion with them, they said that we'll go out peacefully. Until the PFI and CFI appeared in the scene, it was peaceful. So this time also, day before yesterday, today we did eviction, there was no problem because I have decided to come down heavily on PFI and CFI. Now that during that incident, there was a little intelligence failure also. They could not alert us about the presence of CFI and PFI. Citizen did not retaliate against police. It was the PFI and CFI trained people who retaliated. And as a result, that firing took place. So now judicial inquiry is going on and truth will emerge.
So if this is such a large problem, clearly the combination of NRC and CA is something that would be desirable. How will you deal with CAA? Because the deadline of January 2022, that is the time until when some space has been sought by the center.
I think
how will you
after, in my view, what we have seen in Afghanistan, I think after that there should not be any reason of opposing CA by any citizen of India. After recently what we have seen in Afghanistan. And I am sure that government of India will take that call and they will come out with the rules. So as a state government, we are not directly involved, but I am sure that there is now a better appreciation of the fact that why Modi government has to pass CA.
So as the Chief Minister of Assam, would you support the settling of and the granting of citizenship to Bengali Hindus from Bangladesh and them becoming citizens of India, maybe in Assam?
India belongs to Hindu. So
I thought India belongs to Indians.
Indian words come in 1947. For 7,000 years, we were known as a Hindu.
So let me ask you again. Would you, as the Chief Minister of Assam, support the settling of Bangladeshi Hindus, and we've seen what happened
Again,
recently during Durga Puja.
I have said that I believe in civilization. This is a Sanatan civilization. This is a Hindu civilization, which after we enacted a constitution, it has known as India, but you cannot disconnect us from our roots. So every Hindu, wherever he is in trouble in the entire globe, he has his motherland, he will always come back to India whenever you have any problem.
Especially in light, and because you just mentioned Afghanistan curiously, why didn't you mention Bangladesh? The most recent episode has been in Bangladesh.
I think I don't want
where the minorities were out on the streets.
I don't want to mention that because government of Bangladesh has tried their best to calm down the situation. So you cannot compare Afghanistan and situation in Bangladesh. So that is why I have intentionally not mentioned Bangladesh.
But if persecuted people want to come, you'd welcome them.
I said that every Hindu has right to come to India whenever they feel that we are not safe and secure in that land.
Okay. Moving on now. Talking about Tripura. You had a series of violent incidents take place. People complained about it. They wrote about it. 104 people booked under UAPA. Is this not a chilling effect on freedom of speech?
This is
what former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court has called it.
I do not want to comment on a state of affairs in Tripura because I am a Chief Minister of Assam and I should not comment on the state of affairs in Tripura. But one thing, I am sure that Chief Minister of Tripura has acted bona fide, but I am not privy to the facts and circumstances of the case.
But would you support use of UAPA in such a large fashion?
I keep on using UAP in Assam, so how can I criticize Tripura?
And you think that's desirable?
Yes, for maintaining law and order is my primary duty. So whenever I come into a bona fide conclusion that UAP need to be imposed, I impose that. I do not care left liberals. I have to do that whenever it requires for the interest of the state. But I do not know the facts and circumstances of Tripura. I am just talking about Assam.
Okay, final question that I will ask you. You bait the Congress a lot, and everyone remembers your famous story about Piddi, etc. Do you sense now that that time is gone? Congress was an easy target. Now there is a bigger coalition emerging. Parties like the TMC, they are, flexing muscle in Tripura, in Goa, maybe even Assam. Others will all come together.
Padmaja, I do not
There's
want
no Piddi in TMC. What do you do?
I do not want to talk much about TMC because I have seen the election result and I have seen that Mamata Banerjee has lost in the election. When the leader of the party could not win a seat in assembly, I think we should not talk about that party. If Modi ji would have been lost in Varanasi, would you have talked about BJP? If I would have lost in Jalukbari, would you talk about BJP in Assam?
We would talk even more about the BJP then. If you would have lost a seat.
You will analyze that, look, BJP is a party where even the candidate for chief minister or number 2, number 3 person has lost. So when Mamata Banerjee lost her seat, for me, she is not a living political entity.
Okay, so Mamata is not in the running. Finally, because you usually talk about elections, you give predictions, and 9 times out of 10, they have come out to be true. I've seen that in the past. 2019, it was true. 2024, I will not ask you who will win. Who will be the main opposition to the BJP? A coalition led by somebody or the Congress? Who will be the main opposition?
Because at this time, politics is not clear whether there will be fragmented opposition or there will be united opposition. I should not comment on the politics of opposition. But country needs a leader like Narendra Modi for another 20 years.
All right, for another 20 years. That seems to be a bit of an implausible prediction, but we'll hold you to that. Hopefully in 20 years you will also be here. Times Now Summit will also be here. Pleasure as always. Himanta
Thank you
Biswa.
so much.